It's like the muscle is releasing something, but it's very painful, Joseph. It's not a joke. I screamed the whole house down. It's very painful. Then you say it even with athletes, you have a stick. You got touch with that stick. So please take us through those things but the stretch is the best part, because after the stretch and after that painful pressing, hey, I feel like I can live to be 1,000. Hey everybody, my name is Angie Murenga. You're watching Just Angie. It's Lifestyle Thursday, and this is the third segment and the third part of a series that we're doing with Joseph, who is my personal trainer. Hey, hallelujah, it sounds good. Personal trainer. But Joseph, you've done very well. Today I want us to talk about stretching. Okay. And maybe you can bring in food, because I think a lot of people don't stretch. I'm not sure, but I don't like to have absolutes, but a lot of people don't stretch, because the stretching has been a very key part in my exercise routine with you, and even something that you call mobility. That thing, honestly, Joseph, I don't know what to say. Mobility looks like you'll explain it, but for me, where I'm standing, it looks like very gentle exercises that are about everyday mobility. But let me tell you, they're the ones I call SBD, silent but deadly. You feel like you haven't done anything. Let me tell you, after you was I'm in my bed waking up wondering, what happened? Did somebody hit me? It is Joseph and the workout, and I want to die. So please talk about mobility and stretching, because the stretching you do is serious. First of all, not only stretching, but what is that thing? Why are your fingers so painful? What is wrong with you? Why would you poke? I always tell you, I poke here, I don't feel anything. You poke, it's like the muscle is releasing something, but it's very painful, Joseph. It's not a joke. I screamed the whole house down. It's very painful. Then you say it even with athletes, you have a stick. You got touch with that stick. So please take us through those things, but the stretch is the best part, because after the stretch and after that painful pressing, hey, I feel like I can live to be 1,000. Yes. But the process, I hate the process.
Sure. Okay. When we talk of fitness has a few elements. So one of the elements is stretching. It's a component of fitness. There's the element of cardiovascular endurance, which is also trying to improve how your heart works. There's what we call muscle strength. There's what we call endurance, because there's strength and there's endurance. Yeah, because we have different forms of muscles, which entail the fast and the slow twitch muscles. So when we talk of endurance, is you being able to sustain a particular activity or movement for an extended period of time. And we have strength, which is pure raw power, maybe jumping from a height of maybe 10 meters or a crazy height, as in that's instant power. That's what we call strength, basically.
Or even when you demonstrate something, then I'm always rolling my eyes like, who has the energy to do it like that? I'm not going to do it like that. I'm going to do it the way that I feel like I can do it. Like even the first time you brought these weights, honestly, Joseph, you brought 2 of them. Yes. 2. And I'm supposed to lift these things.
Yes.
I don't even have words.
And then we have what we call the body composition. So all these are elements of fitness. Let's say, for example, you run and purely run and don't do anything else. Yes. So you will miss some of the components of fitness. Yeah. So fitness is about you understanding all the components that declare or determine an individual who's fit and healthy. Okay. Because there's the element of like body composition, whereby you need to have more muscle mass than the amount of fat percentage you have in the body. And that also affects the amount of, let's say, it's fat in the organs, because there's an element of what we call visceral fat in the organs. And that helps you with conditions like the lipid levels. They really regulate the lipid levels. Lipid levels affect a few of what we call the non-communicable diseases. For example, diabetes is affected by, what we call there's diabetes, there's hypertension, there's all that. So if you have a good fat percentage in the body, it helps in managing and also preventing some of.
And I think it's also important, because I was also talking to somebody and even talking to people's parents who have diabetes and don't move. And I think that's very dangerous, I must say. You have to move. When you have diabetes, there has to be movement. I don't know whether I'm right, but I've read things, of course, Google is my friend, that your feet are almost like another organ, or that pumps body throughout, pumps blood throughout the body. That's why it's very important, because before I worked out, I'd have very painful moments where I feel like everything is stuck there. So if you have parents even who are diabetic, you have to encourage them to move. There has to be movement, is a must, because it's like all the thing. For me, my language is that everything sits there and it's not moving, and it has to move, and this is what causes more problems.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, one of the main challenges, we've talked of flexibility. Flexibility helps in lengthening the muscles and also strengthening the tendons and the ligaments around. So, for example, if you do proper stretches, you enhance blood flow. And once you enhance blood flow, yes, the body is running efficiently, and everything is where it's supposed to be. And then there's flexibility and there's mobility. For example, when we talk of mobility, mobility is about functional movements. Functional movements are mostly our day-to-day activities. You need to sit, you need to stand, you need to sit, you need to grab something from maybe high in the cupboard or something. You need to hang your clothes, you need to lift things from the floor. Those are basic movements, or what we call functional movements. So mobility aids in
being able to move,
improving that, and not just moving, but moving efficiently. Efficiently means you don't have any strains or pains, and you can independently do your day-to-day activities.
Yeah, for me, I must say for myself, because that's my testimony, is that before I'd be very quick to use my right leg. So I used my right leg for everything.
Yes.
So if I needed to step, so even, I think that's what my daughter was referring to, is that, Mom, you're now healed, but you're still behaving like you had the injury.
Yes.
Because it was my conscious way of, this leg can handle it, this one cannot handle it. But I find, that's what I find. I find that I'm moving better. I can sit, I can stand, I can go upstairs. I hate stairs. But now it's okay, I'll hit them, but I'll still move up and down them with ease. Yes. Despite, because I still have a lot of weight on my body. A lot has gone, but I still have a lot of weight on my body. So that's what I love about the exercise is not just about losing weight. They do have those goals, but for me, is my body moves better, I feel better, I sleep better, I wake up better, you know, I'm energetic, my levels of energy are up. So that's what is helping me with in terms of mobility.
Okay, you've brought out a very important point about fitness. Fitness should be about feeling and looking good. Not just looking good, because sometimes we can have different ways or different processes.
But you can say looking good, and maybe you're looking good is size 10. Me, as far as I'm concerned, I'm looking good.
Exactly.
And I'm not a size 10.
Exactly. So it's you feeling good and looking good. And we can't all fit on the same grid. Yes. So everyone has what we call their ideal or their most comfortable. It could not be, maybe it's not what the doctor has written on paper, but your body has a way, it communicates, and you can always tell when you're doing well and when you're not doing well. So we've talked of flexibility, we've also talked of stretching, yes, and mobility. So those are some of the components.
Yeah, very important.
Yes, and for instance, when you now talk of the cardiovascular element, which is you working the heart, it's the same. You can the heart is a muscle. Okay, so when you do exercises to improve the functioning of the heart, it means that the heart is pumping more blood at slower rhythms, and that keeps it healthier for longer. So if it's not straining and it's not really pushing beyond what it's accustomed to, it means you're doing very well. So you'll have a younger heart for a longer time.
Yes. Amen. We shall live long.
Yes.
We shall live long, and that is what is important for us, or at least the time that we're supposed to be here. So I think what I liked about your training for me is that it covers everything that I'm going to do. You haven't talked about your painful stretches. You have to talk about those things.
Yes.
But I'll be able to, we've done mobility, we've done flexibility, we've done cardiovascular, then we have stretched.
Yes.
And then that's only the grace of God. For 1.5 years, I have not felt the need to stop, because usually I'd be bored. I get bored of this, I get bored of this, but it's because you know what you're doing, and I think that's why it's important to get a professional trainer, is what we're saying, so who knows what they're doing, so that they tailor-make everything, and we're working every part of the body, and then we're able to become better and to feel better. So there's this thing that you do. I can poke myself and I don't feel pain.
Yes.
But you poke the same place and I'm screaming everywhere. And I feel like I'm about to die, and surely I cannot even live the next moment.
Yes.
And then so what is that?
It's also part of science, part of understanding the body physiology. One, I've done certification in what we call kinestheology. Kinestheology is taping and strapping of injuries, and also aiding in prevention of injuries as well. So when we talk of poking, it's more of identifying some of the, due to exercise or due to overuse of our day-to-day activities, the muscle strains, the ligament strain. So sometimes when they do that, you don't get to have proper blood flow, as we talked about. It's like a glitch in the muscle, whereby they're supposed to, the muscle is about fascia, and the muscle groups keep contracting and relaxing. So sometimes one of the muscle fibers could have just have a contraction
and stuck there.
So that's what that's where the poking comes in.
And then you have the audacity to call it a massage.
It's like a reset button.
It's like a reset button.
Yes, so
I
we
like
reset,
the language of the reset. So you reset the muscle.
Yes, we reset them.
But I'm always asking, because now I'll ask the questions that you refuse to answer.
Yes.
Kwani mind, they're always knotting themselves again. They're not going to begin to align and behave themselves, because every time we touch it, I'm like, oh my God, I can't do this.
So like you've said, it's a year and a half. And over time, the body is adapting every day, and every day it's trying to keep up and cope up with the different elements of stress, because exercise is a form of stress to the body. So as the body keeps doing its part, sometimes it needs a small boost or a small push, so that it keeps up with the demand that it's experiencing.
And I've started praying for the sports players, because mine, you use your fingers.
Yes.
Then you say use a stick. Honestly, Joseph.
Yes, because when you look at athletes are a bit lean compared to any other individual. They're really lean. So it's also very tough to get to infiltrate.
Really? To infiltrate that muscle?
Yes, because they are very, very defined and adapted to the particular sports they do.
So why you have to use a stick?
To
reach that muscle?
Yes, it aids because you're also limited to how far you can dig with your fingers. Yes.
I will not say anything. I will just tell you that it is the most painful experience ever.
Yes.
Ever. I've never gone through such a bad experience in my life. It is terrible. Where did the practice start from? Is it part of people, I don't know, I think of the thigh. Where did it start from?
Like I said, I was an athlete, and I've also handled athletes. So you get to experience some of the missing links. For me, I also have someone who does that to me.
They should poke you very well. I need their number.
Yes.
I need their contact.
So as you work out every day, as you push, you're really stressing the body. You have to incorporate the sports massage element into your program or into your workout regimes.
But it shouldn't be called a sport massage. You need a new name. A massage is supposed to be, when I hear the massage, I feel relaxing. There is nothing relaxing about your massage. You have to be alert because you poke, you're like, is that me? Was that my body? What happened? But like I said, the best thing about, for me, for exercise and that kind of massage is the feeling after. It's for real, that muscle relaxes, the blood is flowing, and we are on our way. And you know, Joseph, as we go to the last segment, I've been telling you, you have to develop a product for people, especially who have that kind of, because you don't understand about maybe that diabetes thing. I remember one day I was walking in the streets of London, because that's another thing I got. And I just walked into a shop. There's a shop where we buy my dad's things in the UK. And I just told that guy, do you have anything for diabetes? And he brought me, you've seen that machine?
Yes.
He brought me that Revitive machine. And I put my feet on it and I started to cry. Imagine, because I'm a dramaful person. And then the man was Egyptian, so we had serious drama. He told me how his mother bought one, how the whole neighborhood lands there for that thing. Because I felt relief, because that one works on electromagnetic, I don't know what. Let me tell you, my feet, when I'm saying that you need to develop a product where you charge people and go and do this for them, because you can pay anything. Okay. You can give anything away, because I know the feeling that person is feeling, especially if you're diabetic, you don't exercise, you haven't had that kind of sport massage, you haven't done the flexibility, you haven't released the blood flow, or even if you have a person who has a poor circulation, this is like a gift.
Okay, we talked of the non-communicable diseases, and diabetes happens to be one. So when we talk of managing your blood sugar levels, one of the main aspects of it is being active.
You
Yes.
have to be active.
And you being active works magic. One, you get to improve your muscles. And muscles are really key to regulating blood sugar in the body.
Yeah.
So the more active you are, and the more you pursue being better in life, you improve the element of the muscles, which also helps in managing what we call the lipid levels or the fat levels in the blood. And understanding what brings about diabetes, fat percent, which is one of the components we talked of, principles of fitness or the components of fitness, where we talked of body composition, which is the ratio between your body fat and your muscle mass. So once you start becoming active, you help improving the body composition. And improving the body composition means you improve the fat composition, whereby you reduce it and increase the muscle mass. That helps you with diabetes or management of diabetes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Please encourage anyone who's around you who has a problem with diabetes that they have to move. I think I've said that before. And even when you have poor circulation, I think maybe we'll talk about it maybe in the next video. Even when you have poor circulation, is it people with cold hands who have poor circulation a lot?
Okay.
That you really must get exercising and get that sports massage in quotes to begin to release pressure and places where your body has knotted together, so that there's a release of blood and blood flow and everything works well. So I hope you've learnt a lot, and you're very free. We're putting Joseph's contacts on the video. Please take them, call him. Sometimes I don't know how he's going to multiply himself, but he's going to have to, because he has a healing essence and he really knows what he's doing. So God bless you, and thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week for the fourth and final part, which is also we're going to incorporate leadership into it. God bless you. Bye-bye.